Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a 50-year-old aviation mystery that is, quite honestly, stranger than fiction. I'm talking about a case that literally baffled the FBI, completely captivated the public, and to this day, remains totally unsolved. The big question we're looking at: who is D.B. Cooper?
Picture this. It's November 24th, 1971. Just the day before Thanksgiving, right? A quiet guy wearing a really sharp black suit walks into the Portland airport and buys a completely standard one-way ticket to Seattle. Nobody bats an eye. He just blends right in.
But here's the crazy part. Literally hours after buying that totally mundane ticket, this exact same guy pulls off one of the most daring heists in human history. I mean, he just vanishes into a freezing rainstorm with $200,000, leaving absolutely no trace behind.
Part 1. The perfect crime begins. Okay, let's set the scene here. It's a busy Wednesday afternoon right before Thanksgiving. A super-com passenger going by the name Dan Cooper boards Northwest Orient Flight 305, and he's carrying nothing but a standard briefcase for what's supposed to be just a quick 30-minute jump from Portland up to Seattle.
Up to this point, his behavior is entirely routine. He sits down, orders a bourbon and soda, and just quietly passes a handwritten note to one of the flight attendants. Now, she thinks he's just some lonely businessman hitting on her, so she doesn't even bother reading it. She just kind of slips it into her pocket and moves on.
Part 2. I have a bomb.
Well, when Cooper realizes she completely ignored his message, he actually leans in a bit closer and whispers, "Miss, you'd better read that note. I have a bomb." And just like that, a totally routine holiday flight instantly turns into a massive hostage crisis.
And just to prove he's absolutely not bluffing, Cooper casually snaps open his briefcase. And inside, it's a terrifying sight. 8 heavy red cylinders, which look exactly like dynamite, all wired up to a big battery. That was his leverage.
Part 3. The ransom and release. Now, here's where it gets wild. Cooper doesn't panic at all. He stays totally calm and just lays out his incredibly calculated demands if they want the passengers to live. He wants $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting for them on the tarmac in Seattle. And his final warning? Absolutely no tricks.
So they land in Seattle, and the authorities actually meet every single demand. They hand over this massive pile of $20 bills. To put that in perspective, that's 21 pounds of cash, and it'd be worth over $1.4 million today. Once he gets the money, Cooper actually holds up his end of the bargain and lets all 36 passengers safely off the plane.
But he's definitely not finished. With the plane refueled and just a skeleton crew left on board, Cooper orders the pilots back up into the sky, and he gives them these super specific instructions. Fly south toward Mexico and keep the plane incredibly low, right at 10,000 feet.
Part 4. Into the dark night.
You have to understand, the flight conditions that night were just completely treacherous. They're flying through total darkness, battling freezing heavy rain, and skimming incredibly low over the rugged mountains and forests of the Pacific Northwest.
And while they're midair, Cooper does the unthinkable. See, he specifically chose a Boeing 727 because it was one of the very few commercial jets that had a rear staircase you could lower while actually flying. Up in the cockpit, a warning light flashes for the pilots. Somewhere over that massive pitch-black wilderness, Cooper strapped on a parachute, grabbed 21 pounds of cash, and literally stepped out into the freezing void.
Part 5. The ultimate cold case.
So the plane eventually lands safely without him, and immediately the FBI launches one of the largest manhunts in U.S. history. I mean, they scoured this totally unforgiving terrain by air, on foot. They questioned literally thousands of people. And what did they find? Absolutely nothing. No body, no parachute, no Cooper.
And looking at the timeline, the mystery just deepens over the decades, going from that initial jump back in 1971 all the way to a completely random discovery years later, right up until 2016 when the FBI officially decided to suspend the case entirely.
Now, that miraculous discovery I mentioned, that happened in 1980. An 8-year-old boy was just digging in the dirt on the banks of the Columbia River and actually dug up rotting bundles of $20 bills. The crazy part is, the serial numbers matched Cooper's ransom money perfectly. It's literally the first and only physical evidence we've ever found. But the man himself? Still a total ghost.
So it begs the ultimate question. What actually happened out there in the freezing rain? Did this guy somehow survive a 10,000-foot drop in pitch darkness and just walk away a millionaire? Or did the unforgiving Washington wilderness just swallow him up that very night? Over 50 years later,
The legend is still alive and well. It really leaves us wondering, was D.B. Cooper an absolute tactical genius who pulled off the literal perfect crime? Or was he just a desperate guy who made a massive miscalculation and took his secret to an unmarked grave?
I really want to hear what you guys think about this. Was it the ultimate escape or a fatal jump? Drop your best theories down in the comments for us. And hey, if you enjoyed diving into this mystery today, definitely subscribe for more real stories that are just totally stranger than fiction. Keep questioning everything, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.